what's going on, guys? So I know the title, Are You Too Dumb to Code, is a little clickbaity for my taste, but it's the topic of the video. And I posted a long tweet about this yesterday, and it got some great responses, so I figured I'd make a video on it. So from what I've seen over the years, having the feeling that you're too dumb or not good enough to code is something that a lot of us feel at some point throughout our learning process and sometimes throughout our entire career. And I've been doing this for over 15 years, and I would say that at least once a week, sometimes more, I run into an issue or some kind of bug, and I think to myself, maybe I'm too stupid to be doing this, and definitely too dumb to be teaching this for that matter. And I'm going to talk a little bit about why I think this is so prevalent in software development, and then I'll share kind of my own experience with this. So what I'm really talking about is imposter syndrome. And if you don't know what that is, it's when you feel like you don't belong in a certain field or profession, sometimes despite any evidence of your competence and your achievements. And it's a common experience, especially in fields like software development, where the rapid pace of change and the constant need to learn and adapt can be really daunting. And not just software development, but any kind of technology field, because technology just grows so fast. And I think that that's why many of us feel dumb or stupid at times. If you think of a field or a profession like, say, being a hairdresser, and I don't mean to pick on hairdressers, it's just my wife is a hairdresser, so I'm using that as an example because I've seen her do this profession for 18 years. But I think that this is true for most blue-collar jobs. You have to learn the trade, right? And that can be very difficult. You go through school, you learn to adapt, you find your groove. But once you learn that fundamental knowledge, the stuff that you have to learn from that point on is very, very minimal relative to software development. And the main reason being is there's just so much to it. There's so much to technology, and it's always changing. And I don't know for sure, but I don't think that there's many hairdressers that have an imposter syndrome. And that's just one example, of course. Now with tech, you have to constantly be learning. It's impossible to know even close to everything. Even if you're talking about a single programming language, there's always more to learn, which means that there's a bunch of stuff that you're not going to know, and that can sometimes cause you to question yourself. So I think that that's the first reason why we may feel this way. It's just an abundance of information. The second is because I think that a lot of us, including myself, pay attention to other developers, and it seems like everyone else knows more than you do. And I know not everyone feels this way, but a lot do. However, a lot of the time, the truth is that many of those people that you're looking at that you feel know a lot more than you do, they feel the same way you do. It's just you don't see their struggles and their screw-ups. You know, you don't see them going to the documentation 100 times to look up the same stupid block of code, or spending hours troubleshooting a seemingly simple issue. The reality is coding involves a lot of trial and error, searching for solutions online. These days, a lot of AI and ChatGPT. So every developer, regardless of their experience level, has been through these challenges, and you can't really go by what you see on the surface. And of course, everyone has been doing this for different amounts of time. Now, I'm not saying that everyone has imposter syndrome. In fact, I've met quite a few devs that are on the complete opposite end of the spectrum, that think they're smarter than everyone else and they can do no wrong. I think we've all met people like that, and it's not just developers. As for me personally, a lot of people think that because I teach and I create courses, or because I've been doing this for so long, that it comes easy to me, and that's the furthest thing from the truth. You know, when I was in high school, a C was a really good grade for me. So learning just doesn't come easy to me. In fact, I think that what makes me a really good teacher and why I've been successful in this area is because I understand how to explain things in a way for people like me that don't find it very easy to wrap their head around certain concepts. You know, I think a lot of great natural-born programmers aren't always the best teachers because they can't relate to the newbies. You know, they can't understand how to not understand, if that makes sense. So with that said, you can imagine working in this field that I've questioned myself many times, you know, and it was bad in the beginning, and as time went on, it got better, but I still think these thoughts pretty often. But the main difference between thinking them now and back then is that now I have the thought and I let it pass. You know, I don't dwell on it. I don't let it affect me emotionally or drive me in any decision making. It's just there and then it's gone. And that's really the best advice that I can give you guys, is to not let these thoughts control you, and to also realize that many people around you feel the same exact way. They just don't show it. Just like you don't walk around showing how much you're struggling. You know, although these days it is more acceptable to say that you're struggling, which is good. I mean, we shouldn't go around whining all day, but I think that the fact that we're able to even talk about imposter syndrome is a good thing, because at one point, nobody talked about this stuff. I think that it lets people know that they're not alone, especially beginners. And that's really the reason for me making this video and posting tweets like that. You know, and I had a bunch of people thank me, because when they see someone that has, you know, built a pretty big following in this niche and has experience, and you know, when they see people like that having the same issues, it gives them hope. And that's something that I love doing. Now, to genuinely answer the question, can someone be too dumb to code? In my opinion, I'd say that it's not that they're too dumb, it's that they aren't motivated enough to learn. You know, I have family members that watch my videos and say they could never do that, I could never understand this, but they don't want to either. It's not something they're interested in. You know, they're not driven toward technology. So it's not that they're not smart enough, it's just, it's not for them, you know? And if you're truly interested in being a developer and you're willing to do the work, there's no question in my mind that you can get there. And it may take longer than the average person, but you can get there, and you're free to disagree. I'm sure many of you will. This is just my own point of view, not just from being a developer, but from being a teacher and watching people learn and grow. But that's it, guys. Keep pushing. You know, you're going to hit roadblocks, but you'll always find a way around them. So that's it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.